2 minutes, everybody, 2 minutes of council.
That's why I wanted to have the camera in case they talked about him. I was gonna have it for Facebook.
Mr. Gary, how are you this evening? Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
One minute, everybody.
So I did two there. We're gonna print two contractor. We were really sure. He didn't say who should be busy, but good. I figured you guys have both. It doesn't matter what size you got. What's up, and then those are just what's up. It's up there.
Welcome to the City of Pinellas Parks City Council meeting. Our city offers superior parks, premium recreational services, exceptional public safety resources, optimal investment opportunities, and more. Our mayor and city council welcomes you to tonight's meeting.
No, I don't think so. Good evening. It is Thursday, February 23rd. The time is 6 p.m. We're calling to order our city council meeting. We will have an invocation this evening led by Councilwoman Patty Reed and a pledge of allegiance, so please rise if you wish.
Well, I do have to say, I apologize for writing it down because my prayers are more like conversations than they are actual prayers, and I would get lost and you guys would fall asleep by the time I got done. So, here we go. I did? All right. I just want to take a moment to thank God for allowing all of us to be here tonight. Heaven knows the devil stacks the cards against us every day. I also want to say thanks to God for letting me be a part of such a super cool village and for taking care of everyone making up that village. May we all be thankful for everyone that puts on that armor every day to do the right thing, to be caring, sharing, and loving in their actions and thoughts. To do that, I believe it truly takes a suit of armor because just driving a car around here is trying enough. Thank goodness you never close shop. Please help everyone understand nobody is perfect and we all have flaws and bad habits. Remembering to just breathe and please help one another to put their armor on, lift their chin, and have compassion. Sometimes people don't realize that people with the kind hand, the smile, and the action is you spreading some comfort their way. When we all grow together and never quit chasing our dreams, goals, and passions, remember when odds have been stacked against us, we just want to stop. May we all have faith and carry the light on for the Lord. Times are really crazy right now around the world. May you give everyone that welcomes you some extra help, insight, and courage to keep going. May Jesus help guide you, Lord, in some things you may think is a little left field, but as the new saying is, Jesus lived here, so he kind of gets us. So thank you for letting me say that prayer. Amen.
Amen.
Good job.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patty, that was beautiful, and thank you.
Thank you. That's kind of how I think.
It had them wrote down the back of it.
We do not have any proclamations this evening, so at this time, we invite any citizens that would like to speak on anything that is not on the agenda to please come forward.
Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing well.
We just wanted to, Mike Fortenberry, and this is my son Noah from Pinellas Park Fire Department. We just wanted to let everybody know that the Chili Blaze is coming up again this year. It's going to be March 17th. It's actually also on St. Patrick's Day. So we got the
Have Noah
shirts.
turn around.
There it is. So we decided to kind of do a blended shirt, a green shirt with the Chili Blaze logo. The shirts are going to be going on sale tomorrow. We'll have them at Station 35. We'll also have them in the city clerk's office. They're going to be $20 a piece pre-sale, and then at the event we'll sell them for $25. We'll also have some armbands coming out probably in the next week or so. We'll have some discounted ones for city employees and pre-sale. Also, the next day is going to be the Country in the Park. So we're all looking forward to a nice weekend of fun events, and we thank you guys for helping put the events on, and we look forward to, if anybody wants to have a team, that's right, we have some room for some teams, some last-minute teams. So just reach out to CJ Huffman or myself, and we can probably get a couple last-minute teams if anybody'd like to do it.
How many gallons you have to make?
I believe it's 10. Is it 5? It's either 5 or 10. If you go on, I think it's chiliblaze.com. Pinellas Park, I believe it has all the rules and how to sign up your teams and stuff like that.
Contact Noah.
Yes.
Spokesperson.
Anytime, you can call him
Spokesperson,
anytime.
yeah.
Yeah, he's available
He's
24
got the
hours.
best hair.
So we
Noah,
thank you
give your
guys.
cell phone, please.
So thank you guys, and we look forward to seeing you guys out there.
March 17th, right?
Yes.
Just around the corner.
Yeah, a couple weeks away.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With my shirts.
Yes. And I have one of the shirts down here, too, to remind everybody. Is there any other citizens that would like to come up and speak this evening on anything that is not on our agenda tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to having everybody stand up and be sworn in. We do have a few quasi-judicial items this evening, so please rise.
Raise your right hand. Are you P1 or P2? Is he P1?
I think you probably want to stand up.
Stand. I was like, I saw you stand up. All right, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Section 2, approval of minutes. Councilmember Mullins.
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular council minutes of February 9th, 2023 on file in the city clerk's office.
Second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion by city council on this item? All those in favor? Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Section 3, public hearings. We're going to have item P1 and P2 read together since they are companion pieces.
Item P1 is consideration of a request for conditional use approval for restaurants drive-through in the B1 General Commercial Zoning District with a waiver to conditional use criteria for minimum lot area and building setbacks. Item P2 is ordinance number 4180, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a master plan and supporting documentation for a commercial planned unit development CPUD overlay with underlying general commercial B1 zoning on .23 acres of land generally located on parcel numbers 27, 30, 16, 10494, 012, 0090, and 27, 30, 16, 10494, 012, 0100, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P1 and P2, public hearing, first and final reading. It is quasi-judicial, so I'm opening the public hearing, and turning it over to Megan.
Good evening. My name is Megan Montesino, Development Review Manager. I'll be presenting case number CU-1023-00001 and PUD-100922-00020. The request for the PUD is a commercial planned unit development overlay to develop a 664 square foot drive-through restaurant with a reduced landscaping, setbacks, and parking from 7 to 4 spaces. The conditional use is a request for a restaurant drive-through in the B1 zoning district with a waiver to conditional use criteria for minimum lot area and minimum building setbacks. Shown here is the property just east of the subway, south of Park Boulevard. The land use is Community Redevelopment District, CRD. Zoning is General Commercial B1. And the property is located in Flood Zone X and Flood Zone X shaded. Shown here is the proposed landscaping. The purple is the proposed 664 square foot building. The red is where the proposed alley to the south is proposed for improvements. The yellow is the proposed subsurface stormwater chamber system. The green is the landscaping proposed on site, and the orange down in the south east corner is the proposed dumpster, which will be accessed from the alley. Shown here is the proposed landscape plan. Shown is the proposed building elevation, just a general look of what the scooter's structure looks like. Conditional use criteria to address the restaurant drive-in, drive-through, review by the Planning and Zoning Commission, approval of City Council, which is currently in progress. Minimum lot area of 15,000 square feet, which this criteria is proposed to be waived. The property is approximately 10,000 square feet. Frontage on an arterial or arterial frontage street. The criteria has been met since it fronts Park Boulevard, which is an arterial road. Minimum setback of 30 feet to any side property line or 25 feet to any rear property line. This criteria is proposed to be waived since the setback to the east on the side is proposed to be 24.5 feet compared to the minimum of 30. The operation of the drive-through facility when abutting or functionally abutting a residential zoning district shall be limited to certain hours. This criteria is not applicable as the property does not abut or functionally abut residential zoning. Just a summary of the PUD. The drive-through restaurant is approximately 664 square feet, specifically a drive-through only coffee kiosk branded as Scooter's Coffee. The PUD is requesting relief from the following. Parking required is 7 spaces, proposed is 4 spaces. The dumpster required 5-foot setback with a 6-foot tall enclosure, proposing 0-foot setback to southern property line and no solid enclosure. But I will state that it will have landscaping around it, and this was discussed with waste management for the best accessibility. Impervious surface material required 5-foot setback, proposed 2.4-foot setback, and landscaping waiver to perimeter landscape buffer requirements. Although the applicant is requesting relief from the landscape buffer requirements, they are still proposing to provide the 14 required trees on site, as well as continuous hedges, which is 3 canopy trees, 3 intermediate trees, and 8 understory trees. The applicant is proposing 77% lot coverage. However, in 2002, the CRA approved variance to the maximum lot coverage for 75% to 80%, which is still in place today. These are just some site photos of how the site currently exists. The proposed commercial PUD is consistent with the intent of the Land Development Code. The request to reduce the required number of parking spaces and decrease setbacks would allow for appropriate traffic flow on site. The proposed drive-through restaurant meets most of the conditional use criteria, and the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the CRA plan. Staff recommends approval of the cases with the following condition that they complete a lot line adjustment to combine the two platted lots. And on January 5th, Planning and Zoning Commission also recommended approval of the cases with the same condition that they complete a lot line adjustment to combine the two platted lots. And thank you. Staff is here as well as the applicant if you have any questions.
Thank you. City Council have any questions of staff? Seeing none? Councilmember, Vice Mayor Sabel.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. My question is, why is the dumpster not having a secure lock or stockade fence around it?
Since the applicant may be able to go in a little bit more detail, but there were conversations back and forth with Waste Management, and since they access the dumpsters for pretty much all the properties on that block from the alley, that was the best way for them to easily maneuver to angle into their property and access it without there being obstruction of a wall or a fence or a gate.
So they're going to want to put plantings around it to hide it?
There's going to be plantings as well as bollards to keep them in keep it in place in that area.
And just one second, Councilwoman Reed.
By looking at the, when I drove by there and then again looking at the view, it looks like Subway next door has the 6-foot required fencing around it, and they roll the dumpster out to be picked up. That's what I'm seeing right now, live on this view. The other ones, the newer buildings around there all have them that they pick up in these containers. Culver's does, Subway does. So.
Yeah, I mean, they spoke with Waste Management, which we requested they do. And yeah, Subway, yeah, they have an enclosure, but they roll it out for Waste Management to get to it. And then the building to the east of this subject site, all of the dumpsters are not in enclosures, but kind of stationed out in the alley.
Were the other places grandfathered in?
Well, they weren't annexed in to the point that they would be grandfathered in that way. The Subway, I mean,
How
obviously.
long have we had the city ordinance compared to how long these buildings have been around?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can look that up.
That would be good for staff to check on,
Yes.
because yes, they're right smack in the
Yeah,
alley.
they're,
where they look real beautiful.
yeah.
Councilmember Mullins.
Yes, I was just wondering, when the Subway rolls their dumpster out in the alley, before and after it's picked up, is it blocking the alley?
It's more in.
They actually don't, they pull it into a parking space.
in a
and
parking
it's blocked in a parking space.
If they have to roll it out into the alley, and then the dumpster dumps it, and then they set it back in the alley, it might be 15 minutes before a guy can get back out there and roll it back away. And I would think it'd be better just to pick it up where it's at, set it back down where it's at, than to roll it out and in every time.
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts on it.
Now, if the applicants would like to come forward and speak at the mic. Name and address for the record and whether you were sworn in or not.
Iggy Blake, 1806 Bayou Grande Boulevard Northeast, St. Pete, Florida, 33703. That was the last item?
Were you sworn in?
I was.
John Steckel, MJ Stokes Consulting, engineer of record, 9872 Montague Street, Tampa, Florida, 33626.
And were you sworn in?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to it that from my understanding from the Planning and Zoning Commission hearing we had about a month ago that, they kind of told us to put it back in. So we actually show it on the plans. We are showing an enclosure with a CMU 6-foot high wall right now. So we're okay with it. If it's something that, everybody agrees on, we're fine with it. I think the council voted last time basically saying they can open the gate and roll it out. So we're fine either way. Our preference is obviously to block the dumpster so it's not visible.
Anything to add?
In case you need it.
Thank you.
We're back.
But that was, yeah. I mean, that was the agreement to go back because he wanted it to be clear, blocked out of view, so.
It's better for his business as well, I believe.
I believe so too, yeah. I mean, we have our drive-through like kind of goes right next to it, so we can block it, then that's our plan.
Thank you.
Yeah, other than that, we're hopefully looking forward to doing some business here.
Any questions of the applicant from City Council? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion on item P1, and then we'll do P2. Councilmember Mullins.
One person and two. Okay. Okay, on P1, I make a motion, we approve CU 1023-00001, public hearing, first and final reading.
Second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor. I have
Yes,
a
sir.
question. Is that requiring them to contain?
Have the,
My motion is the way it's wrote down. I think we'll just let them and Waste Management work out the best way, the way we want to do it. This man's got to keep his property nice, and I don't think we need to micromanage their business.
staff clarify whether the dumpster enclosure is part of P1 or P2?
The dumpster enclosure would be part of the PUD, so that would be P2.
P2, okay, thank you. Alrighty, so this is just for the actual waiver for the drive-through and conditional use of the drive-through.
Right.
Okay. Understood? And we have a second?
For P1.
For P1? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Now, item P2. Vice Mayor Sabel. Would you like to make the motion for item P2?
Yes, Mayor, I would.
Okay.
Get to it.
Little technical difficulties.
Technical difficulty. Kick you out too?
There you go.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to pass ordinance number 4180, public hearing, second and final reading, with the dumpster having an enclosure around it.
Second.
Motion's been made in second. Any discussion? I will say that I believe that even if it's just a PVC fence, that it would make your business look nicer, and as well as hopefully encourage the others around you to keep theirs the same. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And I have one question, because it doesn't have to be on the record, but do you sell anything other than coffee? Do you sell hot tea?
Yeah, there's hot tea, protein shakes, smoothies, breakfast items,
Okay.
hot chocolate. We got,
You serve like egg sandwiches and stuff, or just donuts?
no, there's sandwiches and stuff like that.
Very good. You'll have to have a grand opening, and we'll come through in the city van.
And you do walk-up? And you do walk-up?
No, it's a drive-through only concept, so we thrive on the speed of, kind of scooting the cars to the drive-through lane. And
Or bicycles?
we started in Midwest in Omaha, Nebraska 25 years ago, but we're expanding across the nation.
I think it's going to be a nice addition to Park Boulevard. Thank you.
And welcome to Pinellas Park.
Thank you.
Need all the coffee we can get.
Hot tea, not coffee.
They are?
Thank you, and we are going to move on to item P3, ordinance number 4178.
Ordinance number 4178, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, annexing into the city a certain parcel of land generally located at 6284 67th Lane North, together with the adjacent right-of-way of 67th Lane North, and legally described and depicted in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, providing for amendment of the legal description of the corporate boundaries of the city, providing for the assignment of city zoning classification, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances conflicting herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date.
Would you like to go ahead and read P4 with this one as well, since it's the companion piece?
If you'd like me to.
Sure.
I think P5 is a companion piece too.
No, well, P5 and 6 are together. P3 and P4 are together.
Item P4 is ordinance number 4181, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, amending the city's official land use plan map by providing the land use designation of residential low-medium, RLM, for certain lands generally located at 6284 67th Lane North, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. So these are not quasi-judicial.
No.
Right? I don't think so. Item P3 and P4, ordinance number 4178 and ordinance number 4181. I'm opening the public hearing at its second and final reading and turning it over to Mr. Derrick.
Good evening, Council. My name is Derek Reeves. I'm Long Range Planning Manager for the city, and I will be presenting both these cases tonight. So this is a continuation of the annexation agreement you all approved at the last meeting. This is the adoption of the ordinance to annex the property and the adoption of assignment of land use to the annexed property so that the city may regulate the property moving forward. So P3 is the actual annexation at 6284 76 Lane North, together with some adjacent right-of-way. And then P4 is the actual assignment of the residential low-medium future land use category to that property. So as you can see in the arrow here, this is part of the Habitat for Humanity development in this neighborhood. The home has actually already been constructed, so there's no proposed changes to the site. We'll just be annexing them in as is. The yellow box shows the property, and the red box is the right-of-way being annexed with this. You can see in the map here the parcels to the west and north are already RLM that are part of that same habitat community. So we are proposing under P4 to designate this property RLM as well. And on zoning, we would match up with the R4 of the surrounding properties of this development. The one difference is we're not assigning the RPUD that was originally created to allow that development to occur. Because this property already has been constructed, we don't need to do that at this time. This property is in the X flood zone. It's a lower zone. You see here the property is already complete, the development. So just the annexation area shown with some boundary roads, 62nd Avenue to the south and 64th Avenue to the north. So the subject property has no outstanding code enforcement violations with Pinellas County. The subject property is contiguous to the city and meets all the requirements of Florida state statutes. The RLM future land use designation has been determined to be appropriate for this property. And the requests are consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the adopted comprehensive plan and the land development code. Staff is recommending approval of both the annex case 2022-00002 and the land use amendment case LUPA-1123-00001. The Planning and Zoning Commission, they do not review annexations and provide recommendations on those, but they do review the land use map amendments, part of P4, where they did recommend approval with the condition that the annexation occur. Obviously, we cannot assign land use until the annexation occurs. That completes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. City Council have any question of Derek? Would the applicant like to come up and say anything or speak? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion for item P3. Councilwoman Reed?
No, Tim.
Oh, sorry. Vice Mayor Seville?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. I'd like to pass pass ordinance number 4178, public hearing, second and final reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And item P4, Vice Mayor Sabel, do you want to do that one as well?
Sure. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'd like to pass ordinance number 4181, public hearing, second and final reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item P5 and P6, ordinance number 4178 and 4182.
Item P5 is ordinance number 4179, an ordinance of the
79,
City
sorry.
Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, annexing into the city a certain parcel of land generally located at 6382 67th Lane North, together with the adjacent right-of-way of 67th Lane North and legally described and depicted in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, providing for amendment of the legal description of the corporate boundaries of the city, providing for the assignment of city zoning classification, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances conflicting herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date. Item P6 is ordinance number 4182, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, amending the city's official land use plan map by providing the land use designation of residential low medium for certain lands generally located at 6382 67th Lane North, and more particularly described and depicted in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P5 and P6, public hearing, second and final reading. I am opening the public hearing and turning it over to Derek.
Good evening again. Derek Reeves, Long Range Planning Manager for the city. So this property is actually located just up the street from the previous one, so almost all the facts are the same. We're annexing the property located at 6382 67th Lane and some adjacent right-of-way. And again, we're proposing to designate the property as residential low medium on our future land use map. So again, this is just further north, closer to 64th Avenue. So just one property in from that intersection. Again, we will designate the property as RLM with this action tonight on the future land use map. The zoning will be R4. The property is also in the X flood zone. And again, this property has also already been developed and construction is complete, so that'll be as is when it comes in. Another map. So once again, this property is also has no outstanding code enforcement violations with Pinellas County. The property is contiguous and meets all the requirements of Florida state statutes. The RLM future land use designation is appropriate for this property, and the request is consistent with the adopted goals, objectives, and policies of the comprehensive plan. So staff is recommending approval of the annexation case AX 2022-0001, and that might be wrong, and LUPA 1123-002. Again, P&Z does not make recommendations on annexations, but they did recommend approval of the LUPA designating the property as RLM. Good. That completes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any city council members have any questions of Derek on this case? Anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this case? Good evening.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record.
My name is Amari Summerlin, and at 6382 67th Lane North. This is, he's hiding. This is Amaya Murphy. Just I want to first thank you guys for being here tonight. Second of all, yes, doing the process for the annexation to get, to do the permit next, to do a fence in the back of our home due to my daughter recently just had open heart surgery last year. She had a enormous hole and 2 valves on the wrong side of her heart. And after they repaired that, we found out that she had sleep apnea. Now she has an autoimmune issue, and the whole point of the fence is so that we can, do like a little sandbox and things of that such. So, and working with Habitat, they've kind of, made it a little bit, oh, thank you, difficult for us. But I just want to thank you guys for just taking the time out and working with us, with the process of doing this and working and staying in contact and just helping us. This is very helpful, especially not for only me, but for her, just to have, creating a home for us and being able to have her to be able to do fun things in our backyard, so.
I think you've worked hard, too, to make sure you had that house.
Oh, yes, very much so, so. And that's just what I wanted to just come up today and say thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come in and help families like us who have children, who has, issues, each individual of us who wants to have, not only privacy, but just who has autoimmune issues and certain other issues that can't be around children all the time. And, okay, I'll get Lily.
We've all been there.
Yeah, so, I just wanted to come up and just say thank you guys for everything that you have done for us.
Thank you. Councilmember Mullins.
Yes, my question's for Bart or one of the other staff. Is there any regulation that we've got on that community, because they are so close together, that makes it so they can't put a fence up?
So Habitat has some agreements that are in there. One of them was not the fence, where they can actually have a fence. They thought they had mentioned possibly not having fences, but
I knew that they have some of those. I just want to make sure before she leaves here that we kind of set her mind at ease.
Nick's pretty well versed. We've gone back and forth with Habitat a little bit, and
Yeah, so,
good.
With that issue is, they were saying that we agreed.
Yep.
I sent my mortgage document to my lawyer. She looked through everything, and my whole family literally are in law enforcement. And I also told them, and I'm a banker. I'm a personal banker for Fifth Third. So we do, documents all the time. And the document, the only thing that states in there is that we can't have abandoned cars in our drive-through. But nothing of that sort said that we cannot have fences of any sort in our neighborhood. We're not de-restricted. We're not, anything of that such in our possession. And you can't say that we verbally agreed unless you videotaped and said, I, Mari Summerlin, agreed that we will not have a fence. So you can't say you verbally agreed. And if that was the case, why is my whole community, the whole neighborhood is getting together and we all want fences? So you have.
It would probably be cheaper if you guys kind of team up and split the cost.
And we got to the point where we all were saying we should sign our names on a petition and, present it to you guys, because we were falsely accused that we agreed and signed documents, but where are the documents that we signed stating that we weren't able to get a fence? So I think it's just they want to control us. But you can't control someone when you don't have legal documents. Now, we can do that a civil way, where we can do it civil in court, but we know that they're not going to go that way because you're not going to win without documents.
We have for our community, which you're going to be part of now, free permits that you can pull at the first part of March. So make sure that you get with staff before everything's all said and done, so that you can get the permit free to put up your fence.
Right. Yes, I also have my neighbor Monique, who I have all of her documentations and everything that we have to do before the steps to, work with you guys.
Because that'll save you guys a little money as well.
So I have her documents. I looked at everything, and so I know the steps and such. but I also reach out to you guys if I need a little help so I can do it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, and I also encouraged everyone, because we have a group too with everybody in the neighborhood, which we warn each other if something's happened or different things like that. And we have little neighborhood barbecues together.
Community.
So we're like a big family.
Yeah.
So, you know, and when he reached out to Monique, when she had her fence, he told her, either you take the fence down or you sell us back your home. So I'm like, you know, you can't do that to someone, intimidate them that way and try to bully them into things of that such. And I was really appalled, you know, I was taken back because you can't bully someone into that. And then she said, I did it through this and through that. And she said, I have my documents.
She did it right.
So,
Glad to hear you guys are looking out for each other.
oh yeah, we're like a big family.
Beautiful little community over there you got.
Yep.
Huh?
It's a beautiful little community.
Yeah, it is, it is. It is more beautiful when you can come together and do things together like a family. So, and I just want to say thank you guys for helping us out and giving us, you know, the time of day to be able to do this and spread the word, so. Thank you.
Well, welcome to the city.
All right,
Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
Those are little pens.
Lapel pins.
Oh. She got one open.
So, Vice Mayor Sabel.
Yes, ma'am, we're ready for a motion.
Yes, sir.
Close the public hearing.
Oh, we're going to close the public hearing unless there's anybody else that wants to speak. Seeing none, closing the public hearing and entertaining a motion by Vice Mayor Sabel.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I'd like to pass ordinance number 4179, public hearing, second and final reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
And item P6.
Yes, ma'am, I'd like to pass ordinance number 4182, public hearing, second and final reading.
Motion's been made in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Now it's official.
Thank you.
Moving on to section 4, our consent agenda items.
Item C1 is ordinance number 4183, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a revised master plan controlling development of a mixed-use land unit development, MUPUD, with underlying mixed-use district, MXD, zoning on a 1.37 acre parcel of land generally located south of 76th Avenue North, north of 75th Avenue North, east of 58th Street North, and west of 57th Street North, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, for the expansion of the plan unit development PUD boundary to add 0.172 acres, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for appeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date. Item number C2 is ordinance number 4184, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a revised master plan controlling development of a mixed-use plan unit development, PUD, with underlying mixed-use district, MXD, zoning on a 1.2 acre parcel of land generally located south of 76th Avenue North, north of 75th Avenue North, east of 58th Street North, and west of 57th Street North, and more particularly described in Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, for a change in use on Lot 27 located at 5731 75th Avenue North, certifying consistency with the city's adopted comprehensive plan, providing for repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for an effective date. Item number C3 is authorization for the mayor to accept a corporate warranty deed for property from Orange State Steel Construction, Inc. at 6201 80th Avenue North. Item C4 is to accept with regret the resignation of Connie Bruce from the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board effective January 3rd, 2023. Item C5 is to approve authorization for approval and acceptance of change order number 1 under contract 22/004 Community Mobility 52nd Street North and 86th Avenue North Sidewalk Improvement Project, an increase in the contract amount of $3,036.19 for a total adjusted amount of $266,244 $1,000,000.89 with a final payment of $102,067.79 to Central Florida Contractors, Inc. Item number C6 is a nomination of Councilwoman Reed to the Board of Trustees for the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, FMIT, and that's the end of the consent agenda.
Thank you. Councilwoman Reed.
Thank you. Mayor Bradbury, regarding the consent agenda, I would like to make a motion to pass, approve, or adopt whichever action is appropriate. Items C1 through C6, inclusive with items C1 and C2 being first reading prior to public hearing. The next public hearing will be held in council chambers on Thursday, March 9th, 2023 at 6 p.m.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and second. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions on items C1 through C6? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Section 5, regular agenda, we do not have any. Moving on to Section 6, council members. Vice Mayor Seville, anything for the good of the order tonight?
Yes. Just looking forward to the Chili Blaze coming up. Could be a great event as usual. And a special shout out to Public Works for the new landscaping around the basketball courts. I mean, it just stands out. And I'm sure all of our residents, especially those who live across the street from it, really appreciate it. And anyone that drives by there, if you never notice the basketball courts, you will now. And just pray that we keep Brother Butler in our prayers for healing.
For those that you've noticed this evening, he is not here.
Yeah.
And yes, speedy recovery for him.
That's all I got.
Miss Patty?
No, I'm good. I'm going to let you do my
I just want to remind everybody that 10 o'clock Saturday is opening day at Ball Field at Helena Park. So
National Little League.
that's it.
That's it. Lana, you got some fun stuff going on?
I got lots. March is our busiest month, and that's right around the corner. First, as always, I just want to announce that if you haven't been to Pinellas-Park.com, if you go there, it has been revitalized, I think, for the better. And of course, there you can find a complete list of all of our events coming up. Shout out to the communications and marketing staff who did a great job on that project. Long time coming. If everybody, we've got a lot of inquiries about what's going on at England Brothers with the tent going up. There is a Cirque Maceo show at the park this weekend, and if you like aerial dancing and horses under a big top, then that show is for you. We also have our 4th Saturday block party coming up in the Arts Village this weekend. And then, of course, starting March 6th, like you said, Mayor, we have free permits start for small household projects, and that goes to March 24th. And then our 2 huge events that we have coming up is Chili Blaze on March 17th, and then Country in the Park, Saturday the 18th. The headliner this year is Landco, and following the meeting, we do have a commercial that'll air directly following that gives more information on Country in the Park. And I think that's about all I have.
Okay. Going down the line. Mr. Keith, you going to announce any, using your fancy hands for Angela this evening? Anything that's going on with Rick? So, nothing there? Chiefs? No. No. Bart? No. Well, for those of you in the city as well as in our fire department, firefighter EMT Dupree went up to Virginia to donate some bone marrow and for a baby that needs it badly, and he is recovering and doing very well and will be back to duty soon. And I know that there are several of our employees over the years that have donated parts of themselves to help with others. So with that, and the wonderful prayer, reminding people to have shields and to thank the people that have shields in our community, just normal people doing extraordinary things. We'll say that everybody has a blessed couple of weeks until we see you again. The meeting is adjourned.
Country in the Park returns on March 18th at England Brothers Park. This free event includes a variety of activities for the whole family to enjoy, including 2 rodeos, a 6-gun territory show, and food and drinks available for purchase. Live music will entertain the crowd all day leading up to this year's headliner, Let Go. Make sure to save the date. Visit Pinellas-Park.com for more